So I was wondering, during Operation Barbarossa, the Germans came across the KV-2 and they were like, we should try and do the same thing. Hi, comrade. Get the shit out of your body. Hey guys, it's Jim here, and welcome back to warthunder. In today's video, we are playing a self-propelled howitzer that I haven't touched for a very long time. This is the Sturmpanzer 4, or as the allies nickname it, the Brummbär. And if it looks anything to you, that is because the Germans actually used a Panzer 4 chassis to make this thing. They gave it a gun housing and replaced the 75mm with a 150mm howitzer. But anyway, given the past updates where they have made some changes to how overpressure mechanic work, thankfully though, the Sturmpanzer 4 isn't really affected or too much. It is still a pretty devastating monster and battle rating 4.3, and even if you get down tier to 3.3 or maybe even an up tier, this thing can still hold its own. So first off is the armor. Thankfully this is not the Panzer 4 armor, so this is 100mm of armor right here that is sloped at 40 degrees. So if you get down tier in this thing, pretty much not a single gun you come across can actually penetrate this. However, if you get up tier, be very careful of, say, 17 pounders or Soviet 152, 122mm APHG BC shell, or maybe even the PT-76 cheat FS shells. But otherwise, American 76mm, Soviet 85mm, they are not penetrating this anytime soon. However, be very careful that doesn't matter what battle rating this thing is in, there is one weak spot that you need to be very careful of. This thing right here. Yes. This thing shares the same weak spot as the Panzer 4G, Panzer 4H. It's only 20mm right here, and pretty much any mid-caliber guns like the 75mm, 76mm, 3-inch, they can easily punch right through this. And if they penetrate this right here, that's your driver and your gunner right there. And with explosive mass, you can potentially get ammo rack in this thing. So be very careful of this thing right here. You can always play hold down and then just hide your lower half so that they are more enticed to shoot your this thing right here. Otherwise, just pray to God that the player you come across doesn't know about this thing at all, of which a simple general rule of thumb, always assume that they do. And now the mobility on this thing is actually pretty good for something this massive and heavy. You do have a 300 horsepower engine and with a wide set of tracks, going up to 40 km an hour is definitely not an issue for you. And the next best part is that, given this thing's slow reload, your reverse gear is actually pretty decent, about 7 km an hour going backwards. It's definitely a welcome feature for this thing. And speaking about firepower, this is the 150mm Sturmhowitzer 43 L12 howitzer cannon. And of course, we will be using the high explosive shell that pans up to 61mm of armor with 8.6 kilograms of explosive mass. Yeah, that's right. Any tank you come across, they are going to be deleted by this thing. Just be careful about two things though. One is that your shell velocity, only 240 meters per second, which is actually kinda slow. So if you're going to engage somebody at long range, that is going to be really difficult for this thing. As well as your range. Like, look at the spacing between the vertical notches. To which I say, try to make use of your range finding as much as possible. But if you're still going to eyeball it, then my advice is, try to aim higher than you think when you're using this shell. Now 61mm of penetration at any range does seem like it's a little bit lacking, but the good news is that most tanks you come across, they can easily get overpressured by this thing. Just that, remember that you need to shoot the turrets of like Shermans or T-34s or KV-1s in order for the overpressure to do its work. So what happens if you come across, say, a casemate? Yeah, what happens when you don't have a turret to shoot? Now the good news is that casemates like the SU-152 or the ISU-152, they have this thing right here that the HE shell can actually damage. But just in case though, because if you hit anywhere else, the shell is not really going to do anything, so my advice is, I know some content creators say that you shouldn't really bother with the heat shells, but I say, maybe bring 5 just in case. Now, something to keep in mind is that you don't exactly have a machine gun on this thing. Keep in mind that you don't exactly have a machine gun on this thing, and unfortunately, we use a machine gun a lot to clear out like obstacles like bushes and fences, something that can set off high explosive shells, which is really unfortunate. So that's something you need to keep in mind, not to mention your long reload. Not exactly practical when you have to deal with one of those annoying Soviet anti-air milk trucks. Now the other aspects of the gun, you can carry up to 38 rounds of ammunition. I just say bring as many as you want, not like it's really going to make a difference. Your reload is at 18.3 seconds, which is actually pretty fast for something this massive and powerful. But granted, I am running expert crew on with maxed out leadership and weapon reloading. The stock reload is around 22 seconds, so to which I say, if you have crew points, please just make use of them. And then you have negative 8 gun depression, which is not too bad, but there have been moments where I wish my gun depression just a little bit more, just a little bit more. So be very careful when you're playing on one of those maps that has a lot of uneven terrain. And finally, no gun stabilizer, but the gun doesn't really bounce too much when you stop to fire, so it's not really a big deal. And so there you have it. This is the Sturmpanzer 4. Now, in this day and age, is this thing actually worth buying? Technically, yes, this thing is still a devastating piece of work. But I will say, please wait for a sale before you buy this thing. Preferably a 50% sale. But if you don't want to spend money in this game or buy a premium vehicle, then you can actually opt for this thing right here. The Sturmpanzer 2. With pretty much the same gun and everything, and a way lower battle rating. But that's all I gotta say about the Sturmpanzer 4. Now let's take this thing on to battle and let's remind those Soviet heavy tanks that they are not invincible. Shall we? That's all I needed. I hate to do this to you, buddy, but you're on your own.
Panzer, 12 Uhr, Entfernung 600 Meter. Getroffen! Ziel zerstört! Panzer, 12 Uhr, Entfernung 350 Meter. Sprenggranate geladen. Getroffen! Panzer, 12 Uhr, Entfernung 400 Meter. Sprenggranate geladen. Ziel beschädigt!
Yeah, the second Sherman is too good.
Sprenggranate geladen.
Getroffen! Ziel ausgeschaltet! Ziel beschädigt! Ziel ausgeschaltet!
Yay!
Fahrrad, 12 Uhr. Entfernung, 1100 Meter.
Wir wurden getroffen! Getroffen!
Fahrrad, 12 Uhr. Entfernung, 1100 Meter.
Granate geladen!
Fahrrad, 12 Uhr. Entfernung, 1100 Meter.
Wir haben eine Kette geworfen! Ziel zerstört!
Fahrrad, 12 Uhr. Entfernung, 500 Meter.
Ziel getroffen! Ziel zerstört!
Volle Breitseite.
Please hit, please hit, please hit.
Ziel beschädigt!
Did he hit the building or something? What the?
Enemy forces have captured a zone. Target for airstrike.
Panzer, 12 Uhr. Entfernung, 500 Meter. Vorwärts, Fahrt!
Verstanden! Vorwärts! Request target for airstrike.
Oh!
Ziel ausgeschaltet!
I love getting shots like that. Get Shrek, buddy.
Granate geladen!
T-34, 12 Uhr. Entfernung, 400 Meter.
If someone can bring that for me, that would be nice.
T-34, 12 Uhr. Entfernung, 350 Meter. Granate geladen.
That's all I needed.
Ziel getroffen! Ziel zerstört!
Returning to the base. Attention to the map. Reloading. Fahrrad, 12 Uhr.
Shit on me nuts.
Bereit. Granate geladen.
Ziel getroffen! Ziel zerstört!
Attention to the designated grid square.
Ziel beschädigt!
Kameraden, frisch, den geladen, das ist unsere Musik.
Granate geladen.
Attention to the designated grid zone.
Granate geladen. Granate geladen. Panzer, 12 Uhr, Entfernung 750 Meter.
There we go. Oh, there was one more guy who went right. Never mind. I was gonna cap and then decap, but no, not allowed. That's all I needed.
Here I come!
Good.
Attention to the map.
You cannot stay here, dude.
Attention to the map.
No, dude, keep driving, go! Oh dear, I might die here. I don't have to reload. I got the two sucks.
Panzer, 12 Uhr, da! Hier, 12 Uhr! 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 12
Ah, damn it. That was behind me, wasn't it? Yep. I thought I heard something behind me. That is just mean. I'm probably gonna die of karma for that.
Brenngranate geladen! Ziel getroffen!
10:34. 12 Uhr. Im Nahbereich. Attention to the designated grid square.
Brenngranate geladen!
Getroffen! Ziel ausgeschaltet!
Brenngranate geladen!
Panzer! 12 Uhr. Entfernung 300 Meter.
Here we go.
Ziel bestätigt! Ziel zerstört!
Gotta hit those juicy turrets. I'm going to assume that's the T-34 from earlier. Okay, guys? You know, no pressure. But I trust you.
Attention to the map! Fertig machen, Brummbär! Verstanden! Verstanden! Vorwärts!
There is not somebody I want to see.
Ziel zerstört!
And when we are.
12 Uhr. Entfernung 300 Meter. Attention to the designated grid zone. Attention to the map. Ziel getroffen! Ziel zerstört!
We need to put more pressure on the enemy.
I can't move.
Grid square. Rückwärts, mark.
Brenngranate geladen!
Come on, done. Done.
Einzig gesperrt!
Uff.
In unserem Sektor!
Ziel zerstört!
Nothing I can do about it.
Getroffen! Ziel ausgeschaltet!
Isn't there a T-34 here? There's a 5,000 kilo shell, I think. No? Okay, we good.
Panzer! 11 Uhr! Im Nahbereich! Keine Schaden!
Yeah. God damn it. Too many. There's too many.